So, the whole situation starts with the past. You have the King of Swords coming out here. This is, kings are fixed signs, and Taurus, this could be you, right? This could be being very clear on what it is that your truth is and what you want, what what you're standing by, what you're not standing for. You may have been very clear about what it is that you will and will not tolerate. You're very direct here in the past, and I really admire that. For some of you guys, you could have been dealing with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and that's totally cool. Totally cool indeed. Now, the thing here is, considering that we're looking at the Five of Pentacles here, there is something that you had to be very serious about. You're very serious in the past, and that's typically not your energy. So I wouldn't like seeing you as the King of Swords because, like I said, it's not your energy. And if it was more, it's not necessarily the most romantic energy either. You can be very good with your words, but as far as King of Swords go in relationships, I'd rather not see the King of Swords because he's showing that he has to be serious, he has to be direct, he's got to be stern. Now, this is something I don't mind. You have the Queen of Wands in the present, so there's a lot more passion. You guys could also be dealing with a Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, blah. And there could be the more passion. You guys could be feeling more passionate. There could be some individual is showing their passions. They're being very passionate with you. They could be very stern themselves right now, or they're very, ruthless in getting whatever it is that they want. You could be dealing with somebody that's not, that doesn't really take a lot of BS either. But at the same time, I feel like with this person is like they're very social, they're very out there, and it feels like maybe with this, with how they are, you may have not necessarily issues with them, but I don't know, maybe they flirt outside, maybe they don't really. They show loyalty in a very off way, and I'm not saying that Queen of Wands shows loyalty in an off way, but she is very social. Like she's a very social person, so that can be a little bit hard to kind of figure out where this is coming from or what's going on. I'm not seeing any cheating cards though, so we're not going to go into that because there's no cheating cards here. But however, you have the Eight of Cups. So something leaves you dissatisfied in the future. Something leaves you feeling like, nah, this is really not for me. I'm not really sure if I really want to do this. And you do end up finding another avenue, of course, right? I don't feel like this is a breakup. Usually there's going to be more cards here to indicate that. But I do get a card of rejection here. But this is in the future. This is in the past. We're here in the present. So with the Eight of Cups, I'm really getting the sense that, there's something that's just not satisfying for you. You're not pissed off, but you're just not interested in it. So let's move back to the past here. The King of Swords. This is you guys communicating your truth, being very clear what your truth is, and making, things happen, being very stern about it. Because internally, there may have been some successful completion, something that's happened that's really tying up a cycle, right? Something that, is putting close to a chapter. Okay, and it made you very serious because I think honestly it's just a closing of a chapter. It's really big on some scales, and but it could be great, right? Because you could have been gotten together with this individual. For those of you that are in a relationship now because of this, or you've met somebody. However, there is just this thing, right, where somebody may have been left out in the cold. May feel left out in the cold. But the Five of Pentacles could be that. I don't want to say straight up rejection. I mean, there could be rejection here. You may feel rejected, which makes this world thing very weird. But I ultimately feel like, honestly, to kind of carry on with the story, it's almost as if the situation has a lot to be worked on. I feel like you had to be serious about your boundaries. You had to be very, direct with individuals, with this person potentially, because you have boundaries that you need to be maintained. You have a certain way that, there's certain things that you may need in the relationship, communication, support, emotional support. You guys may have been broke at some point, but I feel like most importantly, like it's just about, going through, certain boundary protocols with this individual. And I feel like that's what the problem was, right? It's great, like internally you feel good, but externally, like there's a lot to work with. There's a lot to work on. Okay, but I sense the determination to get through this. I sense the diligence and the work that you wanted to put into it, right? Because there's a lot of serious energy. Somebody may have been very cold and very detached at the time too, so it may have been really hard to be able to connect with somebody. There was a lack of emotional connection too, potentially because somebody was cold, somebody was attached. This may not have been you, Taurus. It may have been somebody else. Okay, or maybe it could be you too, right? Now, with the Queen of Wands in the present, like I was saying before, somebody bringing the passion back. Somebody's trying to be more passionate, or somebody is trying to start something. Not in a bad way, but they're trying to get some sort of energy admitted somewhere, right? But internally, you have the Seven of Wands. Now, the Seven of Wands indicates, defensiveness. This is standing by the relationship, really feeling prideful about the relationship, potentially, standing up for yourself, even, because internally, right? I feel like, well, externally, you have the Four of Pentacles. That's crazy. Not in a super bad way, but y'all, think about this. The Queen of Wands, she don't stay to no comfort zone. This is not her. This is not how she rolls. She doesn't do this. And typically, how she would, operate is stepping outside of her comfort zone. Every time there was a box, she would purposely jump out of it, just to spite people. That's how I see the Queen of Wands anyway. She'd be like, oh, really? Watch me. She's a traveler. She doesn't stay still. So with the Queen of Wands staying still, there could be that there's an individual here in this relationship that may be feeling a bit smothered, or feeling as though they are not doing a lot of things. They could be very bored. You potentially could be very bored right now. The relationship could be dull, but there's this, I don't know, there's something here that's very, uncomfortable, right? This Four of Pentacles. Maybe there's a bit of a discomfort because maybe the fun that could be had may be something that's risky, that, something that someone's not confident about. There could be some confidence in situations, right? Defensive here and refusing here. That's like, it's very weird. It's like this person is confident in where they are. They're confident in who they are. They're confident in the work that they're doing currently. That honestly, externally looks like somebody's holding on to some pentacles and not, branching out. Someone is kind of not, opening up and not open to new ideas. The Queen of Wands wants to do something cool, something new, something fresh, something that's exciting. She's willing to go out and have a good time. But then there's this weirdness here that's like, I don't feel confident in myself. I don't feel confident in doing that. I don't feel confident in going out and having fun. I don't feel confident in doing something that can make me happy, because I'm worried about losing what I have here. It's interesting. Let me see what's going on here. Let me take a closer look. Why is the Four of Pentacles coming up? Okay, why is the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands coming up? Because they're practically the same. I mean, defensive, refusing to open up. Ten of Wands. Overburdened with responsibilities and commitments. That's very interesting, Taurus. Like, this individual is like, I don't know. It's like, okay, why is the Queen of Wands coming up? Let me see. Hold on a second, y'all. Cards went all over the place. Yeah, why is the Queen of Wands here? What's the Queen of Wands? What are we looking at with this Queen of Wands in the present? Probably just getting a lack of confidence in the ability to go out and step outside their comfort zone. Again, the Four of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands is coming up because of the Four of Pentacles. Whoa. All right. So, okay, so there's a situation going on here where somebody may be bored, someone may be wanting to do something more, but there's some sort of hesitation. They feel vulnerable. Perhaps this energy here with the Queen of Wands is talking about somebody that really is feeling potentially smothered. Someone that really wants to go out and do something that's a bit more passionate, more creative, But there's a hesitation here. There's an overburden of responsibility and commitments, and that responsibility and commitments has a lot to, it pretty much is holding them back from being able to enjoy life, enjoy their relationship, or whatever happened with this energy potentially. I don't know. There's like it's like you guys finally got stability, because in the past there wasn't a lot of stability. There was a lot to work on, but then maybe there's a new venture. There's something that's going on, and you're worried about opening up about it or talking about it because you don't want to deal with the outcome. You don't want to deal with do you want to deal with the aftermath of that? Maybe you don't want to deal with feeling like this again, feeling vulnerable and unsupported. Maybe there's something going on and you're doing something that's creative, or this individual's doing something creative, but there's a fear of communicating about it because you don't want to feel like you're vulnerable again or on your own or left out in the cold. This could be to you, Taurus, right? This could be you. You could be dealing with somebody. To be absolutely honest, it could be that you're dealing with somebody that's work-wise, is very creative, very passionate, and then you're worried about bringing that up in and this is just an example. This doesn't apply to everybody, but say you're working with somebody that potentially is the opposite sex of you, or someone that you find is very attractive, or your partner finds very attractive, and you have this weird feeling that they make you jealous, or there's some sort of jealous energy. So they get this is you're not sure if you can trust this person. You're sure if you can trust your partner with talking about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if you can. You don't know if you can. You really open up because this person is very interesting. This is someone that's new. You know what I'm saying? Or this could be that you may feel this way about someone individual, right? You may feel like this person's coming into the relationship to potentially sabotage, and you're not sure if you can communicate that because you don't want to feel like, you don't want to break up, or you don't want to cause any sort of rift in the relationship. But it's a burden on you, so it's really weird. But for those of you that have nothing, no other person going on or anything like that, the Four of Pentacles to me seems very committed. They're very closed off, but they're really not willing to kind of open up in some ways, or holding themselves back because they're clinging to what makes them feel stable. But I feel like with this energy, I feel like there's just something that that's keeping them from feeling confident about taking another step to being creative, to doing other things. And it's because they feel like there's a lot on their plate. There's a lot on your plate potentially too. You may feel burdened. What is this burden? What is what do you mean with the Ten of Wands? The Page of Pentacles. This could be work, guys, and it could be that there's a lot of responsibilities, going on. But this is also potentially maybe you want to move forward. Maybe you want to move forward in a relationship. Maybe move forward in the relationship that you're in, but you're also worried that the person may not be ready to commit, so you hold back. And that's a burden because you really want to make the next move. You made all that progress, so I feel like you're in a place where it's stable now. You don't want to maybe you want to do something that's move up in the sense of commitment here. Now, in the future, with the Eight of Cups, you do have this eight of, you just have this feeling of, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I'm interested in this. I don't know if I want this. But this doesn't mean you break up with the situation. Break up with the person, rather. Not dissolve the relationship. This talks about you just finding other avenues to get what you need. To feel more fulfilled in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of you guys, you may be contemplating what your true happiness is. And this is going to involve seeing the future with this individual. How do you feel? How do you see the future with this person? Because the Three of Pentacles is about planning for the future, even recognizing there's a future even plan for. So for a lot of you guys, this is about, okay, well, there's something here that I don't like, but what future do you see with this individual? What real future can you see with this individual? And if this is something that you want to build on, do you have what it takes? Do you have the endurance? Do you have what you need to be able to manifest that into fruition? This person showed you that they can be reliable, that they can be trustworthy, that they can be passionate, exciting, and serious when need be, to be able to to develop a relationship with you, or whatever requirements you have for a person that you feel needs for the person that you want your partner to be, right? For whoever your ideal partner is. You know, are they supportive enough? Are they able to give back enough? Are they self-absorbed? Are they able to, you know, contribute to the bills? Are they able to do etc.? Are they able to do X, Y, and X, Y, and Z? Either, you know, there's a lot of contemplation here. There's a lot of things that you want to figure out. And the boundaries that you have feel great, but they might, you know, with these boundaries, sort of boundaries, you want to look for, you know, some telltale signs. Let me go ahead and pull you guys your romance angels for the week. Oh my gosh, heart-to-heart conversations. Yeah, that Four of Pentacles thing is like somebody's not opening up about something. Somebody's not talking about anything. And yeah, like you're the King of Swords in the past rather, and then boom, you have no communication at all. It's just like holding in energy. That's pretty bad. Like you don't want to hold in all that energy. So heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly, discuss your feelings with each other. You may find out some things with this partner. You might find out what's going on. That's, you know, holding you back, or what's, you know, holding up the passion, you know, with this person. Or maybe even you may need to offload some things. Maybe there's a lot of stuff that you're doing and you can't, you know, feel like this person may support you because they're very isolated, they're very individual, and they're very focused on themselves potentially. But they're in it with you. So maybe opening up is a good idea. You know, and then showing that you are available for them. If they are the ones that are not communicating, maybe that's what's up. Okay,